guys. Hey y'all, this is Unfiltered. We're gonna give y'all a mini review real quick of one of the most talked about, more controversial songs of the year. This is Black Slim Shady, The Game. We just had a listen to it as the three of us. Me and James had listened to the song a while ago privately, but MALACIAH hadn't listened to it, so we wanted MALACIAH to get in with us. It's gonna be a quick review again, just the song, not the 29 song album that Game released. If you want to go back on the old Unfiltered show. We review both of the last albums of Documentary Part 1 and Part 2. I like Tech 9, I like Game. After 20 songs, it's hard. It's hard. So, and especially since we're talking about the longest song on the album, that was 10 minutes long. So,
y'all listen to that more than once. So 20 to half an hour of y'all.
Yeah, you're half an hour of your life gone.
3 times half hour.
Damn.
Sitcom.
Yeah, that's you could watch.
TV show.
No commercials. It's like,
no, the commercials are the interludes where he's apparently driving to his house. You notice the interludes never finish. Like the song ends with like, did he ever get to his house? Or are we supposed to wait till Eminem's reply and then his second version of this song to do that?
There's a part 2.
Oh,
no, this
damn.
was an audio book.
This is an audio book. Shit.
Again,
spoken by Game or Gam. He didn't finish his name in the song.
Yeah, I think there's a part where he doesn't even get to the E. I believe. I don't know.
This is how wild this album's build up to me is. The lead single of this album, which Game, I'll admit, his verse is just on brand for a Game verse. The lead single of this album was Easy, featuring Kanye.
Yeah. Where
Kanye's verse is him basically rapping about how he's going to kill Pete Davidson because he's dating his ex-wife. We're just being honest.
Yeah. Well, that's not anymore, though. But
whatever. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then the second single was a 10-minute diss track to Eminem because not because Eminem did anything, because there was a previous interview, if you could go look it up, where Game admits that the only rapper he did not want to go up against was Eminem. This happened in like 2008. No matter what, in sports, in rap, not all music, but in rap, in sports, you never admit truly that a person's better than you. You might admit that he does something better than you specifically, but you're never just gonna outright be like, I'm not, like, that's where Game made the mistake. So ever since that day, Game has kind of been like picked on for saying that he couldn't beat him. So I guess on his own level, he thought this was the way to go after it.
Did he beat himself?
Hell yeah.
Shit.
Again, MALACIAH, when we listened to the whole track, MALACIAH only made it like, I think it was 6:25 exactly, where MALACIAH was like, I don't need to listen to any more of this.
I'm good. He's like,
like, one of my biggest things is Game said Eminem's released 11 albums and 10 of them ain't getting no play in my car. That cannot be true.
Because how'd you get all these references?
Like, if he said he only listened to 4, I could probably believe that because most of his references seem to directly tie to Eminem's first albums.
Yeah.
I always like split Eminem's career into 3 parts, like the first 3 or 4 albums. The Relapse album alone is like a weird place in his career, and then everything after that, with like the Rihanna songs and like the Beyonce songs and shit. But it seemed like all his references were based on that first 4 albums, which again is probably the best of his catalog. I'll give them that. But I'm just like, the first half of the song, which is wild because Hit Boy admitted this, is like, it seemed more like paying homage. First thing, is dissing somebody using their flows like a diss?
No, I don't think
it
so.
Can be. It can be.
Okay.
Like, you can mock someone.
Can you do that for 7 minutes?
No, this wasn't Black Slim Shady. This was Black Stan.
Black Stan, yeah.
He was the brother.
He was the brother. Damn.
Yes.
Damn.
This is more of a pain, a hurt. This guy hurt you. Your idol didn't sign your basketball.
His game always seems like he's been upset he was never the #1 artist on the label. And I'm just like, there's 50. Technically, there's still Dre himself. And then by the time, I guess, Eminem, because like I always look at it like, I feel like Game is like Frank Gore. We're like,
damn. All right.
Because Frank Gore. He's number 3 all time in rushing yards in NFL history, but he was never the best running back.
He was consistent,
but he was never the best running back in the league.
No.
And I look at that as him on Aftermath, where I'm like, there was always Eminem, there was 50, even when Buck was hot, Lloyd Banks. Like, there were people on Aftermath, and there's not even thinking like there are other artists outside of the Aftermath Interscope circle. Like I can't even. There were other rappers in Aftermath. At some point, Bad Boy was part of Aftermath too. So like, it's not like these things were all separate. But like when it came to the West Coast branch, he was never number one. And then like there was that weird gap where I guess M wasn't around as much, and there was Game was releasing albums. There was like Jesus is King and shit, or not Jesus King, Jesus Peace. It was like Jesus Peace and Red Nation, like the Ultra Blood album he dropped.
Oh yeah.
But then Kendrick came, and it was like he went backdoor to Kendrick really quickly. So I don't know. It just seems like this is Game finally being like, y'all never thought I was number, because there's like a bunch of random 50 Cent disses in there, but he's also doing like the G unit thing in the middle of it. Like it's.
It's very confusing. I don't think he really knows does he hate, does he love? He just don't know.
Again, it's just like, it just seemed like he was paying homage and trying like, and then again towards the end you're like, he's not gonna, like, you basically said like, oh, you're not gonna respond to me. Da-da-da. I'm like, no, I wouldn't respond to you.
Well, you just did, but
This is that late night message that you rant, and then the next day you go, my bad about that message.
yeah.
But you know
This
what
is that.
But the problem is, he's been
Disregard
hyping
that
this up for
message.
weeks.
Yeah, this is what that is. But it's too late because it was this long.
Yeah.
It's like you said a lot of shit, but now you're like, ah.
Well, the biggest issue for me
That's what
is
that is. That's what this is. That feeling all the way around. Like they read it,
Yeah.
but now you're telling them.
It says red, and now you ain't getting no response. Ain't no bubbles like coming up.
like the bubbles didn't even pop
Yeah,
up. Like,
no
he
bubbles
didn't,
ever
He
popped
didn't even
up.
put pen to paper. Like, you know what?
Yeah, and now that's what this is. Now it's like, shit, what's the reply gonna be? The silence, a reply, nothing. Did it?
Silence is a
Just
reply.
stuck there. You already said the paragraph. This is the paragraph.
Yeah.
But again, like Game, this was a thing that Game had hyped up for weeks. Like there was a release date to this
Yeah.
song before the album.
Yeah.
And then he was, I think he even did a couple talk show things about it, like talking about it and shit.
See,
Like,
you showed everybody the message before you sent it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey,
So
yo,
you think
this
this looks
is-
good?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
this is gonna be
Sick.
5 different messages, like broken up. Like
And then you sent it and said, damn, all them people's.
like it's a big ass paragraph with no periods or nothing. It's
Oh,
just
shit.
Oh, yeah. Emoji every once in a while.
yeah.
That's the skits. It's just the emojis and
The
shit.
emoji.
Like you like, oh, I got Stan's brother. We're going to the like what?
And
Going to
you
8
wake
Mile.
up, you
Never
wake up
walked 8
tomorrow
miles.
talking
Shit.
about all that. Yeah, your cousin with me. And
It's
then
the
next morning
second
you're like,
single.
"Ah."
Like I feel like Malachi understands this a lot because of how like
I'm
singles
sorry.
worked a lot
Yeah,
more
I'm
back in the day.
But tripping.
But just the idea that like this album had 2 singles, and this was the second single, and back
It was
in
not a single.
No.
it's a
This
single.
was a 45. This was
Yeah.
this was a whole project.
That was its own project.
This is like a mini movie.
Also,
Yeah.
Watched
hold
the
on.
whole Minions movie.
Yeah.
before.
There's a part of
This
it.
was a project. Like,
'Cause the
this
one
was a
thing I've always
Pixar
wanted to do-
separate.
Yeah. It's on the
Short.
DVD. It's just
Yeah.
like you just had to go on the other title menu. It's
Yeah,
like
this is a whole thing. That was 10 minutes, bro.
You know what's really random about this? And this is so
I had
funny
2
because
commercials.
I've always thought about like the
On
idea of
YouTube.
curating.
Stop twice.
Stop twice. You couldn't even skip. It's one of those ones. No skipping.
Sponsor ad, Nissan. Like, shit.
Back to
Yeah.
back. Shit.
Yellow line.
So there's 2 things. Even though I'm not a rapper, I've always wanted to be able to like, if a rapper, always wanted to be able to set a track list for a rapper. Like if they came to me and gave me 15 songs, like this is gonna be my album. I've always wanted to be able to like, hey, this is how the album.
Score it almost like.
Yeah, how the score should be. And this is one of the most confusing scores of all time to me for 2 reasons. It's the second single on the album, and I don't understand how you're supposed to set singles on a 29-track album. It's song 23.
That would have been the bonus one. That's the bonus track. Like
That
that.
bonus level at 21.
Yeah, shit.
Past Master P level, you hit Master P 24, like, can't take too much more.
Yeah.
So that was
Can't
always
fit that on a whole disc no more. Shit.
MP3
Yeah.
necessary.
Shit.
So yeah.
iPod, that take it back to that.
Oh, fuck.
Hey,
So yeah, that was always just one of the moments I'm just like,
20s, man.
it's 29. It was supposed to be 31.
How long is it? Like,
It was supposed to be.
minute-wise.
You know how the collective time?
Movie? Are we close?
It's definitely-
Yeah, 180 minutes.
If there's a
Like, just
10-minute
a whole, like, Lord of the Rings, like, level movie.
And because I guess it's still supposed to be a
Shit.
double album because it's supposed to be Drillmatic Heart versus Mind. So one half is supposed to be Heart, the second's supposed to be. First thing, this is
That's
if
probably
that's-
the heart versus mine right there.
This is
That's
the song that's right on the borderline.
Oh.
Part 9.
Yeah.
This was the flip right
Yeah.
before you went off the cliff to the other side. This is that song, right?
I'm not getting the full
That's the
thing.
fold of the
Actually,
album.
I can get the full thing. But like, I'm sure it's way over an hour. Like,
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that in one setting. That's a binge of a series. Like, I can watch 6 episodes or something.
Yeah, I could watch. Yeah, I could
Catch
watch.
up on a whole Netflix film. He did sell that to Netflix.
Damn.
That's no, yeah. We ain't doing that no more.
119 minutes.
119.
That
yeah.
means just over an hour and a half.
That's a movie. That's
That's almost 2 hours.
That's 2 hours right there.
that's your
119.
That's your next 3 years in the
And again,
You
it's
can't drop
missing-
shit for 3 years.
And it's missing.
Josh,
It's
bro.
missing. Oh no! Well, you on Wikipedia it has the full. If it had the extra songs, because again, it's missing. The,
Oh, they added that.
They
'Cause
got
it's
the
missing-
Amazon. You gotta
it's missing the
ship them
Nipsey
out.
song, and it's missing the
Other two that didn't.
the YN.
How many would that been?
the,
About 4 minutes.
NBA
piece,
Youngboy
so yeah,
track.
you have to like 130.
And then again, the other thing is I am promising the YoungBoy track because I didn't get to hear it had a OPP sample because it's called OPP.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
That's why you
that
dope.
one-
I
that's-
kinda want to hear that one.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
But it probably would have just been the same thing like
It's
the
gonna be the same loop.
yeah, just
Go
like
down with
OPP.
Oh no. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
So
That
yeah.
was my shit.
But like, okay, like, because I remember before the album came out, and again, this is how I'm like, you didn't make no money. They said Jay-Z had to clear like 6 samples, and there's no Jay-Z feature on this album.
Damn.
And I think there was like 3 or 4 Nas samples that needed to be.
Yeah,
And there's no Nas.
There's 2. Man, I don't know about.
29, supposedly supposed to be 31, but only 29 songs
Wow.
cleared. Like
Are you done rapping?
he keeps on saying every
Oh,
album.
he's every album's
He
his
keeps
last
saying every album
album.
is his last album.
Please.
Like even in the
No.
Drake interlude, because that's what it is. It's a
Yeah,
Drake
it's all
interlude.
that.
Drake is like, "Oh, I know I didn't make it on this album. You keep saying it's your last album. I know this ain't gonna be your last album. I'll be on the next."